Hello, you're here with Will Ham of 27T Financial, and this is the second iteration of our Financial Foundations presentation. What we're going to be covering here today is discussing mid-career money moves and how to manage your money with confidence as you move into a different stage of your life. So really, this is focused on individuals that are really in that what we would consider mid-career. So maybe you're starting to think about buying a home or starting a family. You're a part of the sandwich generation, is what we call it here in the financial services world, where maybe you're caring for parents while also caring for your children. And so what we want to do is speak directly to you to ensure that you have a good foundation of what you should be thinking about in this part of your career, financially speaking. Who am I? Again, my name is Will Ham. I'm the CEO of 27T Financial. And really, my job day in and day out is dedicated to helping individuals like yourself solve your retirement plan problems to better prepare you for retirement. I've spent over 10 years in the 401k and investment world. And really, my goal here is to provide you with real actionable advice to help you better prepare for the future. Really, it's those individuals that are balancing children, mortgages, loans, aging parents. There's a lot on your plate. There's a lot to be thinking about outside of just finances. And so we want to give you real actionable tips that you can implement in your everyday life that will help simplify your financial perspective, but set you up for success. So we're going to talk about savings and debt management, both budgeting and long-term investing, and dive a little bit into investment options and strategies as well. The perspective that we want to bring today is really shifting from the aspect of, hey, we just want to get you in, get you saving, get you set up for success in that perspective, and transitioning to how do we think about that building and protecting wealth for myself and for my family. Because it's really important to be doing that now in every stage of life, because these decisions really impact. So again, I really want to be sure that we're clear here on who we're talking about and what kind of mid-career milestones you can be thinking of, right? If you're having children at 30 or buying a house at 36, taking a big vacation, or even doing a home remodel, caring for elderly parents. These are the type of scenarios that are going to come up along the way as somebody that is reaching this point in your career and this part of your life. So first things first, let's simplify the savings strategy. And what we like to think about from a savings perspective is what we call the 3-bucket strategy. So if you think about identifying the key components of your savings journey and thinking about things in a short-term, mid-term, and long-term perspective, and allocating different accounts and different investment strategy for both of those entities. Your short-term savings will be your emergency fund. We talked about that on our Investing Basics video and what 3 to 6 months of living expenses looks like for you, maybe looking at a high yield savings or a money market account. Then you have your midterm savings goals like buying a home, supporting your children, whether that's while they're at home or in college, family vacations, big plans, maybe helping an elderly parent or relative live comfortably in their later years. These are all that midterm savings goals that you should be thinking about. And then your long-term savings. You really want to make sure that you as an individual are set up well for your own retirement in your 401k, investing both inside your corporate sponsored retirement plan and individually as well. And then making sure that you structure those investments appropriately to help you match those goals. So a visual representation and a percentage breakdown of how to think about budgeting your wants, your needs, your goals. You want to think about 50% of your income going towards essentials, keeping the lights on, having your home or apartment paid for, paying for your car, paying for your electricities, utilities, groceries, etc. That's going to fall into the essentials bucket. The wants, those big vacations, you're buying your first home, saving for your kids' college. That will fall into the wants category. And then 20% goes to paying down debt and saving for your own retirement. So I think this is a really good foundational piece to focus on here of, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right things? If your spending breaks down to 50% essentials, 30% wants, 20% savings, and debt, you're doing a great job. If things are a little bit wonky, a little bit out of this current capacity, then, this is what you want to work towards. You don't necessarily have to change this overnight, but setting up a way to take meaningful, actionable steps to get towards this sort of framework will be helpful. Now, this question never goes away, and it's one of the most important components of establishing good financial hygiene, and it's debt. So what about debt? We want to help you make sure you understand the best way to attack debt head on. And really the way you should be thinking about it is, hey, where is my outstanding debt? And then what kind of plan can I put in place? This is the framework that I would use as I'm working through paying down debt in totality. Start listing out everywhere that you have outstanding bills that has an associated interest rate with, or maybe there's a period of no interest and you're able to delay paying that for a period of time, but ensure you know where your money needs to go over time. Assign the interest rate, how much is outstanding, and what your minimum monthly payment looks like. Then set a plan. So if you're looking at somewhere to start, paying down your debt is a fantastic place to start. Now, I'm not saying start paying down your home mortgage and prioritizing that over retirement savings, but if you're sitting on maybe some credit card debt, student loan debt, car loans, these things that have higher interest rates that you want to make sure you pay off over time, set a plan to do so and understand what that looks like in reality. Don't pause savings to do this, but create a manageable plan for yourself moving forward. And I think visually, understanding what that monthly payment is, how much you need to pay down, and having a plan in place will help you do so with success. Now, shifting gears from debt to savings and retirement, the star of the show continues to be your company-sponsored retirement plan. Your 401k is, in my opinion, your best way as an employee to build wealth for yourself. And you can do so by automating this process and making it super simple. So where are you saving today? What's that percentage? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Then, hey, do I notice that I'm actually saving in my 401k? Okay, now, am I saving to the company match? If my company offers a match, am I actually getting the full contribution? And then if I've checked all of those boxes, then where do I go from there? Start stair-stepping your way up. You want to aim to get to about 15% of your income to be going into your 401k to save, to set you up for success in retirement, to live the lifestyle that you're currently accustomed to without having to worry about running out of money. You don't have to get there overnight, though. Find a way to build a sustainable process moving forward to get there. By doing that, you're going to be much more likely to continue down that path than making dramatic changes that you can't hold on to for a long time. Then from there, you want to make sure you're invested appropriately and doing so over the long run. Really, the huge benefits that you want to take advantage of within the 401k, you've got your tax benefits. And then if you're a 27T financial client, you've got access to myself and my team. So utilize your resources to their fullest capacity. Schedule a call if you have questions, you need help, you want to understand something. Now, let's transition our conversation slightly to planning your roots, and let's talk about home buying. Really, when you're thinking about purchasing a home, it's one of the most important financial decisions of your life. Consider that buying a home is not an end-all be-all scenario. If you're looking at moving every handful of years, if you like changes in scenery, maybe buying a home is not the best way to do that. But if you're planning roots, Maybe you're growing your family, you want some stability in your life. Purchasing a home is a fantastic financial decision. But to do so, you want to make sure that you're saving and have a plan in place as well. So think about saving outside of your 401k for that home purchase. You want to have a down payment ready to go. Make sure you know what type of home you're looking to buy in terms of price range, how much you feel comfortable putting down. And when you're in the realistic stages of building out this process, talk to a loan officer. See if you can get an idea of what you can afford, maybe the upper and lower ranges, so you've got an idea of how to target these homes moving forward. Then also consider the external costs. You've got property taxes, insurance, maintenance, unexpected expenses. Owning a home is a job, and things constantly come up. So consider the expenses that come along with that. And don't factor your home in as a part of your retirement plan. This is meant to be your dwelling, your place of living, your place to raise a family, to have some stability, but it's not meant to supplement your retirement savings. So view this in a different bucket than you would your retirement. Next up, we have saving for education. So if you're lucky enough to have children, you want to help them pay for college. There are strategies that you can put in place. Before I jump in, I do want to say you want to make sure that you're prioritizing yourself first, because there are a ton of options. Make sure you've got a solid footing financially when you're planning for your own retirement before prioritizing spending on your children. But once you do that, how do you get this started? A great place to start is a 529 account. You place after-tax dollars into an investment vehicle, and as long as you're using that money on college or extra school expenses, you're able to utilize that money in a tax-advantaged way. So the 529 account is the best tax benefit when it comes to establishing a savings vehicle for your children. And you're investing that money. So making sure that you've got an investment plan if they're young, what that looks like, or if they're closer to actually going to school, what that looks like. These 529 plans can also be a great tool to utilize if you have family members that give money for birthdays or Christmases. You can utilize the 529 as an investment account for your children as well, and take some of those funds and place those in the account. Overall, it's a great vehicle to start with that journey. Get your children involved as well. Make sure they know that they have an account, what these investments are doing, what this money is for, so they know that they have resources available to them when they start looking for school. It also exposes them to investing for the first time in a way that is easily approachable and actually impacts them as an individual. So I think these are great options. There are a number of different strategies that you can utilize as well. So make sure when you're jumping into this phase of life that you understand exactly what you're doing and the investment strategies that you want to take into consideration. If you set up an account, you have multiple children, you don't use all of the money with your first child, that money can always be transitioned to a second or a third child. And if that money ends up being unused, you can also convert that money to a Roth IRA for your child. So a ton of flexibility with these accounts and a great option for those saving for school. Now, as a mid-career professional, your investment life is changing as well. From a risk perspective, maybe starting a family changes your risk perspective. Maybe you're looking to catch up because you had to get started late as you work through some student debt, or you're at a place now where you finally feel like you can save. So making sure that you have a strategy that matches the goals that you have for your retirement account. You want to make sure that you understand the mix of stocks and bonds in your allocation. Are you in an age-based investment option, or are you needing to take a more hands-on approach by looking at rebalancing your account if certain investments are overperforming others? Making sure that as a mid-career professional, you reevaluate where you are today versus where you were 5, 10 years ago, and ensuring that your investment strategy matches what you're trying to accomplish in the long run. And it's important to do so because staying invested is the best way to be successful as you prepare for retirement. This is one of the most important visuals you'll see as an investor. And what we want to show you here is simply missing some of the best days in the market can have a significant impact on your portfolio. What you're looking at here is the growth of $10,000 in the S&P 500 over a 30-year period. We're ending at December 31st, 2023. If you let that money sit and grow over that time period, that $10,000 turns into almost $200,000. Now, what ends up happening, especially in the investment world, is people end up wanting to make dramatic decisions at the worst possible time. So when markets finally start to really crush you, it's very hard to remain invested. That's when you want to pull the plug and just say, hey, I just want to hold on to what I have. But what ends up happening is some of the best days in the market follow immediately after the worst. And so the best days, what we want to show you here is the impact of if you say, hey, I just want to hold on to what I have, we'll get invested when things are safe again. If you miss the 10 best days, you're looking at almost $100,000 haircut by missing only the 10 best days. Now, let's say you miss a month of those type of returns over a 30-year period. Your balance goes from almost $200,000 to almost $30,000. That is a significant difference, and you're looking at a very short period of time of missing very positive market results. So that's why that conversation that we started with when it came to investing, reevaluating where you are and if your asset allocation matches your goals, because this is the important part of investing. You want to let your accounts work for you, and you don't want to do anything to detract from that over time. This is one of the most important concepts as a long-term investor. I touched on this a little bit on the last slide, but if you think about market cycles, this is really how this functions, right? You have this incredible excitement and thrilling market gains to the point where you think you can never lose. Then things start to change and you get a little defensive, then you get a little scared, and then you go, whoa, I need to do something. And typically what we see is the maximum amount of concern, the highest likelihood that somebody makes a dramatic decision to their portfolio is towards the bottom of this chart. And what we want to do is make sure that your investment allocation allows you to weather these types of storms in a way that you don't lose sleep at night. And then as a retirement plan investor, you're taking advantage of dollar cost averaging. So each pay period, every single pay period, you're contributing an amount from your paycheck into your retirement plan. The market goes up and down, right? So you're going to be buying more at lower prices, but you're constantly buying. It's more of a roller coaster than just the simple climb up. So what we're showing you here is how that benefits you as an investor. $100 contributed. You have share prices in the first column that fluctuate higher and lower versus a steady climb higher in the second chart. So what you can see here is on the left-hand chart, your average price is almost in line with the steady price increase, $10.17 to $10.95. But as an investor, you end up with more than 6 or 5 shares more in your account than you do in that steady increasing price component. That benefits you. The more shares that you have, the more ownership you have in the investments that you're investing in, which means as those investments grow, your account grows as well. I think this is an important component to understand that when you're investing through a retirement plan, each pay period, you're putting money into your account as the market is going up and down, and that is a benefit for you. It's never too late. Planning to fail or failing to plan is planning to fail. So we want to make sure that you have your goals clearly set today. So what have we talked about? Emergency savings. You want to make sure you've got 3 to 6 months in a cash-like investment should unexpected expenses come up. We want you to be saving into your 401k with a goal of having 2 to 4 times your salary at your mid-career milestone. And then have a clear plan for debt and big goals. They can be small incremental steps, but having that plan is going to set you up for success. And then staying on track with your goals, because at the end of the day, there are things that we can control and things that we can't. We can control spending and investment risk, retirement date, tax management. We cannot control our longevity, what the market returns, how our health is, what inflation is, how the economy is doing. And really, that's where financial planning comes into consideration, is right there in the middle, taking the certainty and the uncertainty and marrying that into a plan. Effective financial planning enables you to spend your money responsibly in alignment with your goals and values. It's generic financial planning terminology, but it gets me excited because it puts the power to you. You're using your money to your advantage. You're not letting your money take advantage of you. And that's where the planning component comes in. You can start simply, or you can dive deeper into the financial planning perspective. So, your next steps. If you're a 2017 financial employee, what you can do is schedule time. We're here to do a one-on-one session. We can do the initial financial planning steps to help you create a plan for your next stage in life. And if there's anybody that you feel like could benefit from this, we're here to help. Our goal is to help as many people as possible create financial freedom for themselves. And so please utilize these resources to your fullest capacity. We want to make sure that you've got everything you need to have a successful retirement. That's going to conclude our time today. Make sure that you subscribe to this video, to our channel here rather, and get the most up-to-date presentations and information for your saving future.